TV. Taylorville Safe Passage co-coordinator Denise Evans back in studio. Welcome back, Denise.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good.
For those of you who may not know, Taylorville Safe Passage is a effort to address and outreach drug addiction and abuse in the community and help people when they so feel like they need help as well. So, Denise, how's it been over the last month or so since I talked to you?
Well, since the weather has warmed up a little bit, I think everyone's out and about, and we've had a lot of calls for people wanting to get sober. Um, Monday, I was laughing because usually every weekend I have calls of somebody wanting to come in on Monday and go to rehab or something. Well, this last weekend I didn't have anyone call, and I thought, oh, is it going to be slow or what? What? Well, Monday it just cut loose. The phones were ringing off the hook when I got to work, and I had people coming in and just all kinds of things. So I think maybe since the weather warmed up a little bit, maybe people's getting out and about more and they're wanting to get clean.
Interesting. What kind of correlation do you see with weather usually? It seems like I feel like during the winter months you were pretty busy too.
We were busy then because you have some people that are bouncing from house to house with no home, no address. And then you have homeless people. And so, they've just kind of give up. They're depressed like we all are when it's cold out and everything. So I think they're like, okay,
Not to mention they're
outside.
They're
outside
in the elements and they're looking for a way to be able to.
Right.
Interesting. And then in the warmer months, you mentioned how people are getting outside and just, it feels like there's more people wanting to be sober. I guess, what do you feel is the correlation there?
I think that our Taylorville Police Department, of course, are doing a fantastic job. Chief Wheeler is great, and all of the officers are with this program 100%. So I think they are now getting out and about, and the people are seeing that, and they are wanting help. The officers are not there to be bad to them. They're there to help them, and they will often stop. I know Chief Wheeler will stop if he sees someone that maybe he knows has an addiction problem or whatever, and they'll just stop and talk to him and just ask him, say, hey, why don't you call Denise or go into the police department and get some help, get yourself clean.
Yeah. And you're seeing quite a bit of that at this point.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
One of the things that Safe Passage does outside of offering the resources and guidance to get clean, but you're also doing a lot of community outreach. Tell me what you can update the public about in that department.
We have the Kiwanis Club here in Taylorville. Okay. Yesterday, Chief Wheeler met with them. I was there, and he spoke all about the Taylorville Police Department. And so they asked me to come back. They're going to get with me very soon and get a date. And so I will meet with the Kiwanis Club, explain to them what Safe Passage does and is. And so that'll be one big, outreach club that we'll be able to go to. So if anyone is with an organization or club or whatever, and they would like to hear more about Safe Passage, just give us a call at the police department. Also, I've been in contact with a couple of police chiefs in close by towns. And so I'll be making appointments with them to go and try to start Safe Passage in their towns.
Which towns?
Stonington, for one.
Mm-hmm. That's good to hear. I suppose, what do you feel would be the advantage of having a Safe Passage program in Stonington, about 8 miles or so from Taylorville?
A lot of people don't have transportation. I get calls every day from like a recovering addict that maybe might have to go to Springfield or for a doctor's appointment or for some legal matter, and they don't have the transportation, or they might have to go to outpatient or something in Decatur, and they don't have a transportation, and usually we help them get
Right.
there. I mean, we're not going to deny them of their doctor's appointment
Right, of
or
course.
anything like that.
Well,
So
and it sounds like they've got to be able to make the first step into the wanting to, they've got to come in, right? And
oh
they've got to
yes,
call and they've got to
yes,
do it. And
that's the first
maybe,
step.
right, that's the first step. And if they can't reach that first step logistically, then
Right,
they're kind of dead in the water.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay. So that's good news about Stonington.
Yeah. Chief Peden
Hmm.
is the chief over there in Stonington, and I've met with him several times, and so he asked, to me to call him and make an appointment so he could have this program over there.
Mm, okay.
So it's needed in every town. Every police department needs to have safe passage. Like I said, people, can't travel a lot of times.
Mm,
They don't have
mm,
the means.
mm. I know you also do a lot of outreach to schools. Where have you been able to visit over the last month or two?
We went to Kincaid, I think last. Um, where did we go before that? Edinburgh, just around the area. I've made contact with a few other schools. I haven't heard back from them yet. Um, Last year, we went to Taylorville and to the high school. And so we need to get back there again. We have two resource officers from the police department. One is at the junior high and one is at the high school. Last week, I had a mother brought, I think he was 15 years old, in, and was just kind of lost with what to do with the problems he was having. So both both resource officers and myself spoke with him, and I think we're trying to get him on the right track now, get counseling and everything like that. And then just yesterday, I had two more. Their parents called me, so we're dealing with that now. And the problem we have here in Taylorville is we do not have counselors for under age of 18. I did find one.
Outside, of course, of the guidance counselors at
Right,
Taylorville High
right.
School.
And a lot of times you find the kids don't want to talk to the school guidance counselor because the other kids see them talking to them. Um, you know, but
Maybe they'll be considered, for a lack of a better term, snitching or whatever.
right,
Anything bad,
right,
right?
right. But I did find one here in Taylorville, um, that comes from Springfield. So she's not here all the time. She's only here one morning a week. And that is something that Taylorville really lacks, is counselors and something to help the kids.
Interesting. Well, that's certainly not an angle I would have thought about, but it's great to hear that there is a way to address the under 18 substance abuse issue, which happens in most
Oh
communities.
yeah, yeah.
That's co-coordinator of Taylorville Safe Passage, Denise Evans, here on WTIM. Your stream brought to you by People's Bank and Trust. They put people first. And Landmark of Taylorville. You'll always do better with Landmark.
WTIM. Your information station, WTIM.
It's the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville. You'll always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. You'll find the streams on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com, Facebook, or on YouTube at WTIM TV. Before going to break, co-coordinator of the Taylorville Safe Passage Program provided a little bit of insight on how the substance abuse situation is impacting the community for kids around the age of 18 or under. Also, a lot of older adults as well, but for a moment, we were talking a little bit about outreach, right, Denise, and how you go to schools and whatnot to talk about the dangers of substance abuse and addiction. I suppose I want to know, what do you feel like Taylorville Safe Passage is able to offer those kids when you go visit those schools?
We have found, I'm pretty sure every school that we have gone to, we stress to these kids, if you know someone or yourself having problems with addiction, please call us. You're not going to get in trouble. You're not, it's all private. We don't, make it public, or anything like that. I think when we get their trust, and by the time we end up with the talking to them that day, every single time there has been at least one, two, or more to come up to either Chief or myself after and open up and start talking about either their self or a friend or something that is having problems. It's just like when someone comes into my office, they're scared. I mean, because they're coming into a police department, and a lot of them already know some of the officers. So my office is away from where the officers are at. So, I tell them, usually you're not going to see an officer at all. And when they come in, I tell them, I just need the truth. That's the only way I can help you is to tell the truth. And everything is confidential. Even Chief Wheeler doesn't know what I talk about to, the clients. So I think after you gain their trust, they will start telling you, everything, and they will open up and ask for help.
How do you feel getting to these kids early on, outside of the trust? You built that trust, which actually plays an important part of beyond high school. How do you feel that establishing that trust in school helps them be, I don't know, let's say 5-10 years down the road?
They'll remember that. That's why we need to start early with these kids. I've had kids 9 years old that has problems with addiction. They might be getting it out of their mom and dad's medicine cabinet, whatever. I have had kids, say 14, 15, somewhere around there, that has actually been smoking meth with their parents. And that's terrible. I mean, and so we're getting them help.
Yeah.
But anytime that you gain trust with somebody, whether they're a kid or an adult, it's within my clients, it seems to where it carries on down the road. I have all kinds of recovering clients, adults, that we have helped this past 4 years. And they call me all the time, or they text me all the time, or they just call and ask if they can stop in the office and just talk, just tell me how they're doing. They're so happy that they've got their life back. And then they want to help others. Every one of them, just about every one of them that we have helped and are clean, stay clean, they might have a job now and everything, want to help their friend. They will call and say, hey, I've got this friend that really needs some help. And, they just realize that they got their life back, and they always come forward and want to help somebody else. And that's just, it's great, because you don't find that, in other situations in life,
Yeah. You're hearing from Denise Evans, the co-coordinator of Taylorville Safe Passage. Now, I want to know, we're talking a little bit about outreach. Do you have any outreach meetings planned in the coming months?
I have some that I've called and I'm waiting to hear back from a couple schools and, like I said, police departments and
Okay.
different things. And if there are any clubs here in Taylorville that they would like to have us come and speak, we would be happy to.
Excellent. Well, we have a couple of minutes. I wanted to give you a chance to update the public. I know that a big part of the reason, for lack of a better term, that you are able to operate is through some grants and whatnot. And
Grants and donations is
Yep.
what we work on.
all right. So give me the status of that. How are you doing?
We have a grant that we've had for the last year. It's a state grant, and it will be up the end of May. And so we're pretty sure that it's going to be renewed for another year,
That's great.
hopefully. Otherwise, we're going to be back to donations,
Which you still do take.
Oh, yes. We
Which-
still take donations. We need, because with donations that we get from residents or businesses, whatever, around here in Christian County, I use to buy gift cards. And the gift cards are gas cards that we give the drivers for, gas for transporting a client to a facility.
You're always looking for
We're
drivers.
always
I
looking for
understand.
drivers.
Can I
Yes.
drive?
Do what?
How can I drive for Taylorville Safe Passage?
How can you drive? You call me at 217-777-0080 or call the Taylorville Police Department. Ask for Safe Passage. And the only thing that you need is a driver's license and car insurance.
All right. And if you out there feel like you need help, how can they get in touch with you?
Same way. Call Taylorville Police Department dispatch, ask for me, walk in the Taylorville Police Department, ask for Safe Passage, or call 217-777-0080.
Taylorville Safe Passage Co-Coordinator Denise Evans, thank you so much.
Thank you.
WTIM.